If I had asked them what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Greetings from the Henry Ford Museum here in Dearborn, Michigan. I'm Tom, and this is Yane. This is Yane. So we are here at the factory tour. Not the factory tour. I don't know. It's the Ford Museum, the Henry Ford Museum, and I think you can see Henry Ford, his statue, just behind us. And you know, I've been waiting a long time to come to the Henry Ford Museum. Yane is from Venezuela. And Venezuela, you know who Henry Ford is, of course, right? What was your very first car? Do you know?
Yes.
What kind of car?
Chevrolet.
A what? A Chevrolet? A Chevrolet. And you were here at the Ford Museum. You know, Chevrolet is the competition of Ford.
Yes, but you asked me what is the first.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, well anyway, we'll forgive her, okay? We'll forgive her. I think that my first car, one of my family's first cars, or my growing up, was a Ford LTD. But anyway, it's a beautiful day here. We only have about 4 hours to go through this museum. And when planning the trip, they were telling us what are the important things that we really should check out. So we're going to bring you along for a very quick tour of the Ford Museum in Greenville Village. Let's go inside and check it out. Are you excited? You are?
Yes.
Oh, you look really excited. All right, let's go check this place out. And just as we are about to go in the door, here's a close-up of the statue of Henry Ford, born in 1863 and died in 1947. So there you have it, Henry Ford. I don't think he was necessarily a very tall man, but he was a very smart man for sure. So let's go inside and check out the Ford Museum. And let the tour begin. Here we are inside the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. Boy, quite a dream come true for me. So I'm just going to kind of bring you along here. And this is obviously this is a train, a locomotive. And this is the Allegheny locomotive here. So look at that. Wow. Give you a nice close-up of some of the... Look at that. Climb aboard, the sign says. And then over here they have, this is a wagon that they got right here. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a whole heck of a lot of time here in the museum. I would have liked to have gotten here right when they opened up, but it actually looks like it's a well, this is a train actually. You see these coaches here, and they're all connected. Interestingly enough, look at that. See, so these are all connected, and you got the engine right up there at the front. There's the conductor's seat right there. So this is how people were getting along back in the day when Henry Ford was just starting out. Here's another engine that you can see. Look at that. This is the 1829 Stevenson rocket, is what this is. And here you have the Rogers Locomotive Works, the President, October 21st, 1829. So this is the 1859 Rogers. Its last run was to transport the presidential party to the museum opening in 1929. So its last run was to bring the president in 1929 to the opening of the museum here. So look at that. Here's some firewood. Maybe we could... Yane, why don't you grab some of that firewood for the campsite tonight? Well, get some of that firewood for the campfire tonight, okay? And just put under your shirt. Okay? So, really is It was a nice experience to be here. It's fantastic. As I understand it, you could actually be here, well, you could be here quite a bit. Look at this. This is the Canadian Pacific. This would be going through snow, I'd imagine. You know, it just goes right down the track. Will you look at that there? Look at that. Imagine being on the track, seeing that coming down at you. So I'm gonna walk you down the side here. Somebody's taking a picture here. Okay.
Do you vlog?
Don't want to get in the way. But so here is the Canadian Pacific. Look at this. It's just massive. Look at how big that is. Really, really something else. Okay, there's a lot more to see. So I want to go up and see if I can't climb inside that locomotive up in the front. Right next to the locomotives is this display here of all types of various nostalgic cars here. You got an '84 Plymouth Voyager, and what is this? This is the Plymouth Deluxe Suburban, the 1950. This is probably what Skip Smith's dad had right here. Skip Smith's dad, Skip Smith in the Villages, his dad probably had one of these. If not, well, actually, you know, as old as Skip is, Skip's dad probably had one of these here. Look at this. This is a 1918 Overland Model 90B. You can see that. And then here, look at this car. Get you right in on that. This is the 1904 Packard. You can see. You look at that. Boy, this makes some really, really good YouTube. Over here you have Holiday Inn, great sign, 1952 to 82. Look at that. Boy, there's a lot to see here. That would be one of their hotel rooms from back there. You can see, planning the vacation. So it's all about, this is all about, you know, planning the vacation if you're going to go on vacation. And I want to walk back this way and show you the presidential vehicles. So here is a, what is this? A 1907 white Model G. You can see there. Here you go. All engine with no pistons. The rotary engine. Look at that. All right. Let's find our way to the back and see some of the presidential vehicles. Some old Texaco station. Really, really a fantastic, fantastic display of vehicles. I'd imagine you could just spend a whole day here in the museum itself. These are baby seats, children car seats. They weren't always about safety. Look at that. There's a car seat right there, a baby seat. All right, let's go find the presidential vehicles. This is a 57 Cornell Liberty safety car. All right, here is the McDonald's sign, the nostalgic McDonald's sign, and they've got the 15-cent burger going up there, and you've got the AW, it looks like White Castle burgers, and here you have a 1956 Chevrolet Bel Air convertible parked right in front of the McDonald's sign, or under it, I should say. Over here you have it's like a stagecoach. The Abbott Downing Concord coach, 1891. The stagecoach connected Americans. Right there. There you can see. It's that stagecoach. This actually is a diner, I think. It is. So you can come in here and grab yourself a bite to eat in the diner here while you're touring the museum. With liberty and justice for all, the enduring struggle for freedom. And this is one of the spots that the guy at the front told me not to miss, is this section here. And if I'm not mistaken, they've got the bus that Rosa Parks sat in. I think they also have the actual chair that Lincoln was sitting in when he was assassinated, if I heard him correctly. And we will see, as the saying goes. So I'm going to kind of walk you through here. I don't know what all is in here, but I think they've got a copy of the Declaration of Independence.
Is it in this area?
In here. Is this it? Might actually be the copy here of the Declaration of Independence. You can see. Now look at that. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
And there's more surrounding
and
around
endowed by their Creator, or something like that. And what do we got here? George Washington, a hero of his time. Washington's camp chest. Look at this. Actually looks like a little bed right there. Look at that camping. See? You just fold up and sleep on that. There's Washington's chest. Now this might be the actual chair. Let's see if this is the chair that we're talking about. Supreme Court or Speaker's chair, right there. All right. Somewhere in here is I think the chair that Lincoln was sitting in. If I'm not mistaken. We'll see if we can't find it. Another one rides the bus. So here is the bus. This is the bus that started it all, so to speak. Rosa Parks sitting on this bus and refusing to give up her seat. This is the Rosa Bus Parks. Rosa Parks was on this bus, and she didn't want to give up her seat. So here you can see. I don't know if I can actually take you inside.
And she claims that it is the Rosa Parks bus. She doesn't have any historical documentation to prove it, but
so here is the Rosa Parks bus, if you will. All right, let's continue. Somewhere in here is a Lincoln chair, I think. We didn't have to look very hard to find the American icon of change, Abraham Lincoln, Death in the Pursuit of Liberty. This is the chair that Lincoln was sitting in the Ford Theater. And you can see, imagine it's probably bloodstained up at the top there. But this is the chair that good old Abraham Lincoln was sitting in when he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth in the Ford Theater. But quite worn, as you can see. Look at that. Very, very old. So there it is, folks. A piece of American history. Did you know that Henry liked to fiddle? Henry grew up on a Michigan farm. During the 1880s, young Henry danced to lively music of fiddlers at country dances. In fact, Ford met his future wife, Clara, at a dance. Henry Ford loved the fiddle and even learned to play a little as a young man. So these are some of Henry Ford's fiddles that you can see here. And somewhere in here, we're in the area here where they're showing a lot of furnishings. And I think if I look hard enough, I could probably find a piece in here that belonged to none other than the one and only Skip Smith of the Villagers. I there's a music box in here or something. So I'm going to see if I can't find that for do one for the skipper, if you will. All right, let's go find Skip's music box. Come to a very, very interesting part of the museum here, showing you all types of different. This is a stationary steam engine, about 1862, that you're looking at right here. And then over here, well, I don't know. Look at this. This is the Edison General Electric Company. Look at that. Isn't that cool or what? Steam engine and electric generators, 1891. Model of 1882 Pearl Street Power Station is can be seen right here. Somewhere in here is supposed to be that music box that Skip Smith's family, I guess, donated to the museum. Here's the steam engines are symbols of skill. Building steam engines is complicated. It requires equipment to cast, forge, and cut metal, and workmen with the skills to design, make, and assemble the parts. Look at that steam engine. All right, let's continue on with the tour. Somewhere are the presidential vehicles. Heroes of the sky, adventures in early flight. One cold, windy day, two bicycle mechanics propelled themselves and the rest of the world into a new age. But how could they have known what it would mean to fly and what flying would do? So there you have it. Look at this. The Wright Brothers. What a great piece of history right here. Look at that. And there he is. He's steering that thing. The very first airplane. So I'm going to take a walk. I think they've got a, what is this? This is the, this plane to Coffeyville, Kansas City. There's another plane here. Look at that. They've got a plane of Amelia Earhart in here somewhere. Look at this vehicle here. Or this plane, I should say, the Floyd Bennett. Let's go inside and see the, I think there's a plane inside of Amelia Earhart, if I'm not mistaken. You can go up on the balcony over here and look down. They've got a really large plane hanging. Forever the first, 1903, the Wrights' accomplishment. For the first time, a machine carrying a man had raised itself by its own power into the air for full flight. It sailed forward with reduction of speed, but finally landed at a point of height. So there you go. Look at this. Give a shout out to Oz down in Melbourne, Australia. Oz, this is a museum I'm sure you'd really appreciate seeing. The race is on. The Wright Whirlwind engines. Look at this. Josephine Ford. Who will be the first? Near Bird's Camp, 3 adventure explorers had combined efforts to bring the airship Norge to. They were racing with Bird to be the first up over the North Pole.
We also need to reinforce your skis. They're really too small for your plane.
But we don't have any extra lumber, and there aren't any trees around here.
How about the lifeboat oars from the boat?
The captain won't like it, but we'll do it anyway. What do you think, Mr. Balkan?
That just might work. We also need to find a way to take off downhill at night.
At night?
Yes, the snow will freeze harder and we can slide across much more easily.
Somewhere in here is Janae. I lost Janae, and I think coming around here. I think Amelia Earhart is just around the corner here. We'll go see. Everywhere you look, there's airplanes. There's one up hanging from the ceiling here. Look at that. It's a racing airplane there. And Amelia Earhart, I think, might be right up in this area here. Amelia Earhart. There's her luggage and overnight case. There is, that's the blouse. It was designed by Amelia Earhart right there. Looks like it's leather. Here's her overnight bag. And here is the airplane right here.
It was her job, an endearing combination of sweetness, beauty, and bravery that we'll always remember when looking back on one of history's most. Before Amelia, two brave souls also tried to fly around the world and face the
As sincere friend, I urge you not to attempt any part of trans-Pacific flight. Bob.
Grant my one and only wish that you take Bob to Seattle. My blessing and love, Mother.
Daddy dear, please take Boat home to us. We miss
All right,
you.
folks, let's go look at the presidential vehicles. Found an interesting exhibit here. These are different aircraft as you would be flying. This is it's a Boeing 737 in 1967. You can see if you were sitting here. Now, if I bring this around a little bit, okay, now we come up to a Douglas DC-3 in 1939. You can see that's the plane right there, okay, as compared to the previous one. Now here is the seating in here. You got the overhead. There's your seats. There's no reclining. A lot of leg room though, interestingly enough. Okay. Then you come over here and you have the Ford Trimitor, 1928. So here is a Ford Trimitor. You can see that. And if you were sitting there, this is how you would be sitting in that, 1928. Look at that. Let's go find the presidential vehicles. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. Alexander Graham Bell's first words transmitted by telephone in 1876 anticipated the way telephones would become vital to social and business life in America. So here you see all the different, here's a display of all the different types of telephones over the years. I could actually raise this up a little bit. Give you a nice perspective there. Maybe bump that up. There you have it. Come on down. Look at all that. So that model right there, I think, was probably Skip Smith's first model right there. That one that you're just looking at. Skip Smith's an old timer. I like giving Skip Smith a hard time. Look at some of these. Okay, and just up ahead is the presidential vehicles. So we'll see that and then go over to Greenville Village. All right, here we go. Presidential vehicles. This is one of the highlights of the museum here, and I'm just going to walk you down here. This is the Reagan car, and a 1972 Lincoln, you can see. The sleek limousine, first used by President Nixon, provided refuge for President Reagan in '81 after he was shot by a would-be assassin. So here is the presidential limousine that Reagan ducked into right there. And then continuing down, the next vehicle that we have is the Kennedy car. So here is the Kennedy car. A tragic event occurs. So this would be the car that Kennedy was in. The roof would have been down, of course, but here it is. This is the limousine that Kennedy was in when he was shot. Look at that. Well, this is where having this gimbal device that I use comes in really, really handy. So there's the Kennedy vehicle. The Continental, 1961 Lincoln. Look at that. And then just up ahead, it's the next vehicle. These are going back in time, if you will. This vehicle here is the bubble top, Dwight D. Eisenhower's bubble top. So here is the stylish convertible to see and be seen in. So there you see it. This was the bubble top of Dwight D. Eisenhower. And you look at that. Firestone tires. And then continuing down, the next vehicle, this would have been, let me take a guess, Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Sunshine Special, you can see. The first car expressly designed and built for a president. Look at that. Quite an impressive vehicle. Look at that. The Sunshine Special. And this vehicle here, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is a presidential vehicle or not. Perhaps. Sure it is. Teddy Roosevelt, circa 1902 Brougham, an elegant carriage for the rich and powerful. So there you have Teddy Roosevelt going around in one of these. I don't know if that was bulletproof glass or not, but nonetheless, there is your Teddy Roosevelt's circa 1902 Brougham, or however you pronounce it. So that, folks, that's it for this museum here. I'm sure there's a lot that I missed, but had time permitted, I would have shared more of it with you. So I hope you enjoyed this abbreviated tour of the Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. Let's go over and check out Springfield Village.